hold on to your seatbelts. This is going to be the complete Scandinavian defense, also known as the center counter. We're about to go through a serious number of lines in a short time period. All right, let's get cranking. All right, so against e4, you play the Scandinavian defense, which is d5. They take. But that's the main line. We'll cover the main line after we've talked about some of these side lines. So like if they play knight c3 and refuse, we play d4, start kicking their pieces around, build a big center, start trying to kick pieces. Always good. We can be very annoying in these variations. This type of move d3, it just is uncoordinating, it's nasty, it's beautiful. Keep in mind that when we're using these variations, you'll be able to go back and take pictures of these things. So that would be covering the 2 knight c3 variation. So going back, we have knight f3. I mean, this is like a reverse colors Budapest gambit. You just take, play e5, f5, and bishop e6, and you got a better position. Oh, wait, you can't ask for more than that. So after d5, we got e5. Okay, well, just play c5. And now you follow it with, if they play, say, knight f3, bishop g4, or if they play anything else, bishop f5, e6, and black has like the best version of a French defense, where you get your light square bishop outside the chain before playing e6. Very, very simple. That covers all of the variations to avoid taking. So far, so good. Now, let's get into the meat of the matter. E takes d5, queen takes d5. If knight f3, this leads to transpositions. No worries. So d4, knight f6, c4. We go straight back on c4. And after knight f3, g6. I know this is a little bit different than standard Scandinavian lines, but I'm going to recommend the fianchetto system a lot, and instead of queen a5, I'm going to recommend queen d6 a lot. So like I said, hold on to your seatbelt. After knight c3, you got bishop g7, and we just get a really solid position. We put our pieces on decent squares, attack the center, and black really has no big issues. It's just a solid position to where in this game a draw was agreed between 2 grandmasters. So let's go to our next variation, which after, let's go ahead and flip it. Gotta flip it. We're going to be flipping it a lot. Takes, knight c3, main line. That c4 stuff was shenanigans. After knight c3, we want to go queen d6. This is the modern approach to playing the center counter. So after d4, we have no problems. But let's go ahead and talk about these sidelines. If knight e4, just queen b6. You can play c6. And if knight b5, queen b6, and then c6. No problems. So go to d4, knight f6, bishop e3. If he decides to go knight ge2 to try to play for a quick bishop f4, queen b6 should be like the number 1 move you think of when retreating. And we get some nastiness. Good line. Alright. So coming back to this bishop e3. We got a6, b5, and we have our overall structure, queen b6. This is the to-do list now. After exchanging the c and d pawns, you castle, you develop your rooks on the d and c file. So let's do some diagramming. Alright, we're going to take there. You're going to castle. This bishop's going to go here. This rook's going to come here, and this rook's going to come here. And you're going to obtain an advantage using this open c file that you're going to use. And you got it, man. Push some e5 and f5 eventually and use your majority where you got 4 versus 3. All right, next one. Let's flip it and reverse it. We got knight c3 and bishop c4. A little bit different than the previous line. And after c6, not a6, c6, knight g2, queen b4, hitting the b, e6. We bring the queen back. Very interesting, because in these types of positions you can waste tempi. And we have a standard position for the center counter. And you're clearing d8 for the rooks, really. You're just going to do that, and put some pressure on that guy because he's weak. And you got yourself the bishop c4 variation. Next, let's plop it. So we got our standard moves. We got knight f3, okay, c6. h3 to prevent bishop g4, so we go bishop f5 when that happens. No problem. Bishop d3, just take it. Knight b7, bishop g5. Now, you could go with e6, bishop e7, but I like g6. Let's do that one. Castle queenside, bishop g7. And we have a very solid game. And keep in mind, you've got to stop their attack. So, we're going to hit them in the center. And we're finally going to get our break pretty soon. He's working for it. Boom, c5. And as soon as you get c5, stuff's going to happen. Stuff is good. Alright, next up, we got the fianchetto variation. Got to flip it again. Flip it and reverse it. e4, d5, takes. He hits us, we go to d6. d4, knight f6, knight f3. c6 again. Fianchetto. Main idea is he wants to kick you. We're okay with that. We can live with that. Pin. e6. And he hits us with bishop f4. Just go back to d8. She's safe there. And we see a very solid game after b6. Not too worried. Here's the to-do list again. Exchange your dark square bishop by playing bishop d6. So you have two knights versus knight and bishop. Try to get control of the dark squares from the white king side by playing queen d6 after you've traded bishops. You're going to block the long diagonal by putting a knight on d5. You probably want to play b5 to prevent him from playing c4. Castle, if only necessary, because you got this H file to work with. Alright, we got our to-do list. Check. Now, the last of the variations. Move 6, knight e5, flip it and reverse it. We have our standard moves again. Queen d6, c6. Now, knight e5. He's looking to play knight c4 to trickily hit the queen. So, knight b7. We ain't worried. Knight c4. Move the queen to c7. She's safe. Queen f3. Knight b6. Ask him what he's doing there. Bishop f4. He's hitting our queen again. So where do we go? d7. Kind of interesting. After this move, black trades his queen by playing queen g4. Or f5. Yeah. The end game is balanced with equal chances for both players. But, yeah, I mean, let's go ahead and keep going here. So, Castle's queenside. Queen g4. Takes. f3. And you definitely get good play here. Just defend your pawns. And this game is by no means worse. You got some serious play. You'll be able to develop your bishop, castle, bring this rook over here, and we can use our pawns to minority attack. So this covers all the variations that you need in the center counter. I know I went through it quickly, but you need to have it in rapid fire succession. Just keep in mind those first moves. e4, d5, takes. The knight attacks you, you go to d6. If he attacks you with a knight again, you go to b6. If he goes d4, knight f6, knight f3, c6. Do a memory marker on the only variation where we played a6, b5. The rest of the time, it's c6. And this is your starting structure of the center counter / Scandinavian.